All right, so in this first video, I want to reintroduce how to take or how to make a clothes for a kid. Now, for this kid's outfit, we are going to work with these fabrics. We are going to work with a navy blue outfit, a black trouser, and ishago material. Now, this material, give me the material in the parlor, the shago fabric there. So this will be our first illustration on the kids' clothing, and I will gradually take my time to explain from the scratch how we can do all of this. So this measurement we are going to work with will be for a 2 years old boy. This is the shago fabric I have, right? And this is 1.5 yards. So the measurements we are going to work with will be for a 2-year-old boy, and it is for his graduation ceremony. I know most people will like to, get to understand how these things can be made and how to cut from scratch and draft. Bear in mind that the measurements are the same. The same way I taught you guys how to take measurements is still the same. There is no difference. The only thing you need to do is to practice more on how to take these measurements. And having said this, now we will go back to the drafting stage. I will show you guys the measurement, show you how to draft it, and show you how to sew it as well. And I hope this video will be clear enough to make you guys understand how to make kids clothing. So let's get down to the cutting proper. All right, so here I have my customer's measurements. My name, Jeff Humble, right? The chest I have is 26. 26 chest. Shoulder is 10.5. Sleeve length is 5 inches. Round sleeve is 11. Neck is also 11. Top length is 16. The waist is elastic / rope. The hips is 28. Laps is 12. Knee is 11. Ankle is 10. Length of trouser is 17. So this is for a 2-year-old boy. But bear in mind that in some other cases, you might have this measurement to be a bit bigger or a bit smaller. But any measurement within this range will work for a 2-year-old boy. So I also have a measurement of the same age range, but the chest was 28, right? So it can be plus 2 inches or minus 2 inches, depending on the baby size, right? Because us baby 2 years are not of the same size, but they can give you the same size range. So having said this, now the first thing we are going to draft will be the senator outfit. So we are going to use it as well to place to cut the ishago. Now bear in mind, the ishago cutting and the senator top are the same, right? The only thing here is the placement of the fabric. And the reason I also want to use this fabric to cut it because of the marking. So you'll be able to see the drafting properly. And the number of yards I have here is 1.5 yards for both the top and the trouser. But in some cases as well, you can get 2 yards if you want to do some extra design or whatsoever. So here, you first of all identify the front and back, and by simply trying to understand the shiny part is the front and the dull part is always the back. So here you fold the both ends to come together just like this. Now, because of the fact that we want to economize or manage our fabric, this is how you will place your material. So you place it in this form, and bear in mind that there will be no rumples or whatsoever. Arrange it all through this way and make sure that the base is also corresponding. So I want to carefully arrange all of this in this form. So this is what we have, right? And after you have gotten the placement nicely, so the first thing you will do here is to mark out your baseline. So this baseline will be properly marked out. This baseline will be properly marked out. right? And once it's marked out, then you start your drafting. So you just simply take your ruler this way and mark out your baseline. So once the baseline has been marked out, now the next you will do now will be to also mark out the side lines as well. So you mark out the side line this way. Now the extent of the marking should be the extent of the range of your length of trouser. After which you mark 2 inches here. Now these 2 inches will be for the hemming or folding of this trouser, right? It is not part of the trouser length. Then you connect the line all through in this form. After this, the next you will do now will be to get your measurements. The length of trouser we had, I think was 17. So here you place and mark 17 inches, right? From that 2 inches you have already drafted out for the trouser. Then you mark this way and also mark here as well. So when you have marked the both ends, always mark twice. The reason for the marking twice is to make sure that you have a straight line at this area. So draw the line across this way. So how then, what is the next thing to do? The next thing to do now is to get your crotch. Now how do you get your crotch? Your crotch could be gotten by simply dividing the hips of the child by 4. So the hip measurement we have is 28. Divide by 4, that's 7, right? So from here, you mark 7 inches. Now at this point, bear in mind that on kids' clothing, you don't need to minus or deduct anything for the crotch. So you just have to use the whole answer you have to get your crotch measurements, right? Now, in this kids' clothing as well, in as much as we want it to be fitted, but not too tight to inconvenience the child, so you have to give some adjustments or some provision for ease. So here, you come in by 1 inch on the ankle line, and then the hip measurement is 28. That's divided by 4 is 7. So here, you mark 7 inches. And then add extra 1.5 for children. 1.5 for children, right? 1.5. Once you have gotten it in this form, and then the next thing you will do is to consider that this trouser is elastic and rope, right? The waist is elastic and rope, meaning that there will be no zip. So you need to take the hip measurement and transfer to the waist point so that the waist will have enough allowance to contract and to have rope when you fix it on the boy, right? So here, it's either you measure the total distance you have here, that's 7, the hip measurement, and apply it on the waist line in this form, and then connect the line straight up this way. Most children clothes are always elastic and rope. It gives them more room for fitting and last a longer duration of time. After this, then you bring down the line on the ankle all through this way in this form. And then from here, you come up a little bit, just like this. And then with the help of your pattern master or your hip cuff, whichever one you can lay your hands on, you place it on the hip region, just like this. And then you connect it all through to the crotch line in this way. It goes all through this way. Then the next you will do now is to mark the ankle. The ankle we had was 10.5. So in such cases, you can mark 11. Then when sewing, you now close at 10.5. So you mark at 11 for easier application of measurements. So here, you also bring it up straight in this form. And after which, you fling your pattern master in this way, where the connection will flow in this direction. So you see how the connection is being made. After that, from the crotch depth, come up as well by 1.5 inches. And then take your pattern master as well and keep in this form, and then tilt it and go it all through this way. After you have done this, now the next thing you will do now is to apply the pocket. Now in most cases, the simplest way to get the pocket position is by dividing measuring from this waist point to the crotch line, divide by 2 and add extra 1 to it. So here is 7 inches. So divide by 2 gave me 3.5 plus extra 1, that's 4.5. That is the standard way to get the pocket notching for kids, right? So here to here is 7, divide by 2, 3.5 plus extra 1, that is 4.5. So here you mark at 4.5 this way, and then the up region here could be 1.5 inch all through this way. Now, because of the fact that the back of the trouser of this boy is west, the west is elastic and rope, there will be no need to slant the front panel. But if you're making a trouser that has belt, you are going to slope or slant the front panel by half of an inch. So here, there's no need to slant. So we are going to cut it out, and then I will show you as well how to cut the back. So right there, we have finished cutting the front panel. So we're trying to cut the back panel now. So all you need to do now is to, fling it over this way and make sure that you give room at this base. Now, one of the simplest ways we use to cut the back panel, I told us that the back panel we have front rope and back elastic, right? So now the band for the back panel will be cut together with the panel. The band will be cut together with the back panel. So let's see how it's being done. So here you make sure you give like 3 inches gap here, and then place your trouser in this form, just like this. Very important. As long as you are using the same method I'm using, you must do this, right? And then extend this line here by 1.5 inch at the crotch point, 1.5 here as well, 1.5 here as well, 1.5, right? And then you from here connect all through this way, connect all through this way. Then at the back panel here could be 1 inch or 1.5 as well, 1.5 as well. Here could as well 1.5 inch, and then you also connect all through this way. Then with your pattern master as well, you make a curve that drops down to this very point. You see how I'm being artistic. So at the back panel, you are going to raise the back by 3 inches. Raise the back here by 3 inches, right? I will tell you why when we start. Now, these 3 inches will serve you for your back band. You are not going to add any band or whatsoever again at the back. Now, bear in mind that the band will be 1 inch from our trouser calculation, right? And then if you double it, it will be 2 inches. The minimum you can add at the back here will be 2.5. That's the minimum you can add, but let's add 3 so that it will be enough for us to fold in and lock our trouser. So here you add 3 inches at the back. You can as well add 2.5 if you don't have enough fabric, but let's add 3. So here you mark 3 inches. So I am putting the band together, the back band together with the back panel. So here I will extend all through this way, and then mark the side line to correspond with this. So I will go ahead now and cut all through this way. So I will cut that and show you as well the next step we are taking. All right, so right here we have cut the band. So this band will be folded half an inch first, just like this, and then fold again this way. You see, right? So when we now join the front band, it will now correspond with this. That's the sense of cutting together the band with the back panel. So here you notch this point, you notch here, and also you notch here, the pocket points. Now the next you are seeing here are the components of this particular trouser. So now we are going to fix pocket, so that's why we have to cut out the pocket facing. Now pocket facing, which you see the reason or the use when we start. In case you don't know, I will also show you this as well. So here it goes in this form, and this will serve me for my pocket facing. I will weave this and then show you guys how it's being used when we start. So the measurements for the pocket facing we have here is 3 inches by 8.5 or 9, which is very much okay for me. So here is done. Now the next I will cut here will be the front band. Now remember that the front will also have a band, right? But not the regular band we all know. So here I will take my chalk as well and mark out my baseline just this way. I will mark out my baseline just this way, and then I will measure 3 inches as well from here. 3 inches as well. I will measure as well 3 inches from here, and then I will connect from here to this very point. And after which, the next I will do now will be to cut out this baseline, cut it out this way, cut this one as well in this form, and then the length of the cutting is your choice, but then it's the front panel range that you are considering. So you cut in this form. So the measurement I have here is length of 15, right? So I know it's long, it's much, but I will still reduce it when we start gumming. So here we are done drafting the rope trouser that has back elastic and front rope. So the next you will see will be on the top drafting as well. Stay tuned and watch the end of the video. All right guys, so now we want to start the top drafting. So here you also understand that you are going to fold this fabric in this form. Now this is the right side and this is the wrong side as well, and then we are going to use the chest measurement to fold, right? So the chest measurement we have is 26 chest measurement, and then we're going to fold accordingly. Now you have to divide the chest by 4, which is 6.5, and then add extra 1.5 to it. So here you are going to fold 6.5 inches this way plus extra 1.5, that is 8 inches. So this cloth we have an 8-inch fold. So here is more than 8. I think I am going to work with this particular measurement. It is 8 inches and ½ inch, but I'm going to remove this English edge. Now when you know how to fold your fabric, you will be able to use 1.5 yards to make a 2-year-old boy top and trouser. Now the first thing we're going to do here now is to mark out our baseline. So the baseline will be properly marked out from this edge, and after which you mark 4 inches. For children you can mark 2.5 or 3. So we are using 2.5, right? For kids it's 2.5 inch you are going to mark for the hem or for the base, right? So when you have gotten to this point, so you mark 2.5 inches just like this, and after which you now apply the top length. So the top length we have is top length of 16. So right here you mark 16 inches as your top length. From here, right, you mark 16 inches as a top length, mark it twice for you to be able to get a straight line at the shoulder region. So here you connect the line all through this way. Now the next you will do now will be to get your armhole. Now on children clothes, we don't consider if they are using short sleeve three-quarter or long. The armholes are the same, both for short sleeve, three-quarter or long sleeve. Even if you want to consider the fact that you want to give them a fitted outfit, you should know that they grow fast. Within a month or two, their sizes will change. So you're going to make this clothes in a way that in the next 2 to 3 months, or 4 months, or 5 months, the baby will still be wearing the clothes, at least to save cost of doing more outfit for him. So right here, the chest is 26. So you divide by 4, you have 6.5. Now, on your own discretion, you can decide to remove half an inch, just to give it a little bit of fitting or perfection. But rather, in case of you don't want to, undergo that stress, you can just leave it at 6.5. So here, I will use 6 inches for for this boy's armhole. I chose to use, but you can still consider to use the same value you had on your division. So right here, you mark the armhole that way, and then mark all through this way. And after which, you now apply 6.5, which is the chest over 4, right? And then you mark all through in this form, and then add extra 1.5 inch to it. The highest you can add here is 2 inches. Then after which, the next you will do now is to mark your shoulder measurement. So the shoulder I have is a shoulder of 10.5. So here, divide by 2, you have 5 inches, then 5.25. Then add half an inch or three-quarter inch you will use to join the sleeve to the shoulder. That's 5.5. So this 5.5 inch will be marked in this form, but then you are going to slope this top by 1.5 inches or 2 inches. On kids outfits, you must slope, but not that much like the adult. So here, you come down by 1.5 inches this way. You mark the shoulder in this form, and then you come down here by 1.5. That is the shoulder slope or slant. After which, you now check the neck measurement. So the neck measurement we have is 11. So you divide 11 by 6. Now remember that kids clothes as well follows the normal processes or procedure of our regular measurement, right? Now the neck is 11. Divide 11 by 6, you have 1.8. You have to minus 0.3 from it, you have 1.5. So this 1.5 is 1.5 for the width walls measurement of this outfit. 1.5 inch this way, right? Then add half to it plus 0.5. That gives me 2 inches. So here you mark 2 inches. So I do hope you understand the calculation I did. Let me do that again in case you don't understand. The customer's neck I have is 11, right? Now divide by 6, that's 1.8. Now you are going to minus 0.3. Now the reason for the 0.3 you are minusing is to give you room not to exceed the exact neck fitting. So you minus 0.3 from it, it gives you 1.53. So you just pick 1.5. So the answer you got now is for the width. Then add 0.5 to it, that standard addition gives you 2.03. That's 2 inches for the neckline depth. So right here, you extend the line in this form, extend the line as well in this form as well, and then connect the intercept of the shoulder slant and the shoulder measurement to the neck edge. It comes all through this way, and right there you connect from this point, making sure that the connection is not that deep, right? Get a perfect point to connect, and then connect all through this way for your neck curve, right? And then the line of the shoulder width, you will come down straight up to the armhole. But for perfection's sake, this line should not be too straight. Originally, we could have joined this shoulder point to the real chest, but I told you guys that it will give you rumples on the armhole. So right here, bring the line to come half an inch slanted inside, just this way, go in this way, and then take your pattern master, place in this form until you get a curve that cuts across this line by half an inch inside and goes back to the armhole. So here, you place in this form, and then you connect from here to the armhole depth. It goes all through this way, right? Now this is half an inch. Look at it. This is half an inch, 0.5. Even if I do not measure, you can see that it is that of half an inch. So this is what I mean by armhole curve. And after that, the next you will do now will be to bring down the line on the chest allowance and then give 3 inches from the 2.5 inch you marked for the side opening. And this is all you need to do for the front panel of your top. So you see how artistic this measurement is. So I will cut this and then I will take my time to also show you guys how to draft the back panel at once. All right, so now we have cut the front and we have arranged the back panel. Now the reason I want to show you the whole processes here is to make sure that you don't miss any step, right? So the back panel was ironed properly, and then I placed the front panel all through this way. And the next thing you need to do here is to make sure that the hem here, the base, you have 1 inch left. I will show you the reason for the 1 inch. So then bear in mind that we slanted the front by 1.5. So you also raise the back panel as well by 1.5. Whatever be the measurement you use in slanting the front, please make sure you retain the same measurement in the raising. It makes the measurements to be in coherence with each other, right? And after that, connect the lines all through this way. And then on the neck region, this front neckline should have gone straight back to the front, but because of perfect fitting and balancing, you are going to tilt this ruler half an inch backwards or 3/4 inch back this way. So you connect the back neckline in this form. And after this, you now do the back neck depth to be 1 inch deep, right? 1 inch deep, 1 inch for children. So here, from this point is where you do 1 inch deep. And after that, place your pattern master in this way and then make a curvy connection that drops down to this very point. So invariably, so the measurement you have here will be around 2 inches for the end point of this dropping, while from here to here is 1 inch. So the double of the value you have here is what you should be having here. So having said that, then you cut the neckline all through this way as shown, and then make sure that you also cut the shoulder line from here to this very point, and after which you cut the armhole point from here and go all through this way as well. So once you have understood and gotten to this very point, now the next thing you will do now will be you also cut the sides, cut all through these sides as well, cut all through here as well. And the next you will do is to cut out here, leaving 1 inch value. Now the 1 inch value you are leaving is to make sure that there is no you have the neck balancing done properly, which I will show you the reason when we start the sewing process of this illustration of this video, right? After that, now you are going to bend the back neckline to come in front this way. So once you bend it, the extent of this bending will be 1.5 inch, 1.3, 1.25 inch as well. And then if you observe, the back neckline is encroaching on the front panel, right? So you're also going to trim out the excesses from there. Let me bring it closer for you to see clearly. I hope you are seeing this clearly, right? Fine. So here, you can see that this front neckline is cutting across the back neckline in this form. So you're going to trim it out from the front value, from the front neckline range. So you're going to trim it out all through to this very point. So trim all through to this very point, and then you fine tune the depth and also make sure it's properly connected, right? After which, this is what you will see or what you will have. So invariably, whatever you have on your front shoulder region should be equal to what you should have at the back shoulder region. That's the sense of this trimming we have just done right here. So I will cut also the front, the sleeves and the back facing. I'll also show you how to do that as well. All right, so here we want to mark the sleeve. So you make sure you fold this point, this sleeve in this form, but before you fold it, make sure that you have it coming out from this direction. Make sure it comes out from this direction. You know, so that you will see where that is shorter or not up to. So fold all through this way. So I will iron this and then I will show you how to do that. So right here, you make sure you fold where you'll be seeing the shortage, right? And to make it easier for you, you will always mark it out. Cut it out just to make sure that you're on the safer side. So cut all through this way. And the next thing you will do here is to make sure that this folding is following the measurement you have. So what do I mean? The boy's measurement for the round sleeve is 11. Now, to get a perfect sleeve fold, divide the round sleeve measurement by 2 plus extra 3 inches for kids. So 11 inches divided by 2 is 5.5, just this way, then plus extra 3 inches. That is how you get a perfect fold that will cover your sleeve when you are drafting. So right here, you mark extra 2 inches for the hemming or folding of this sleeve, right? Or invariably, you can still fold it this way. Just like this, it's still better off this way. And make sure you have it to be 2 inches exact, and then you iron properly in this form. So this is actually more professional. So right here, you fold all through this way. And after this, the next thing you will do now will be to put your sleeve length. So the sleeve length we have is a length of 5. So add half an inch to it. Okay, let's do it 6. So add half an inch to it. That's 6.5, right? Then mark all through this way. I just decided to make it 6. You can still make it 5. It's still very much okay. Now, the 6 inches sleeve I have now, add extra half to it. The half you're adding is to join this sleeve to the shoulder. That makes it to be 6.5. So mark it twice all through this way as well, in this form. And then you connect the line from here to this very point. Now round sleeve is 11, that's 5.5. So from here, you mark 5.5 this way and mark extra 1 inch just this way. Then from the inner sleeve, come down by 2.5 inches, just like this. And then you have to draw a straight line that goes all through this way, connecting to this very point. Divide this line into 4 equal parts. So this here, from here to here is 9. The middle is 4.5, just this way. And the other middle is 2.25. And here as well is 2.25 as well. Then from the first quarter, go up by half an inch. From the last quarter, go down by 3/4 inch for children. With your freehand sketch, you connect from here to the half an inch, to the midpoint, and to the 3/4 inch, and back to the 3 inches or 2.5 inch that you came down with. That's 2.5, right? And then from here, you connect all through to this very point. So let's cut this out and see what we have drafted. So watch this part very well to be able to understand how you can get your sleeves properly done, right? So from here, you cut from here all through this way. So look at how the sleeve came out. You see, right? Very simple and very nice. So this is how you cut your sleeve. So the next you also see will be on the back facing as well, and the bias or the piping. So let's get down to that stage. So here you get a fabric as well and fold in the range that will be able to cover the back panel. So the back panel measurement we have here is a back panel measurement of here it to be 1 inch higher than the back armhole, right? 1 inch higher than the back armhole. Then you also iron. Now, the essence of the ironing, like I said, is to make sure that it flattens and then you'll be able to draft nicely. So place it this way and make sure that the sealed edge is at this edge. And then from there, you cut all through this way, cut all through this way, cut the neckline, and then cut the shoulder region in this form. And then you also cut from here as well. So when you have cut out from this very point, now the next you will do now will be the bias and the flap. So right here, you also pick a fabric this way, you know, mark your baseline all through this way, and then the flap measurement is 3 inches this way, 3 inches this way, and the length of the flap will be within 10 inches range, right? So you can still decide to make yours to be shorter or longer. So 10 inches, 9 inches is ideal. So right here, you mark all through to this very point. Cut all through to this very point. And then you make sure this is how it is. So this one now we have here, this is how it is. And then you place all through this way. So here, the inner flap will be vintage. I want to make it to be a little bit flashy, right? So we are done with the flap. So let's cut the bias. Now, bear in mind that in most cases, front facings might not be needed because of the nature of the trending styles of children clothes now. So here, bias is a diagonal measurement. Now, the simplest way to get the diagonal measurement is from marking a baseline all through this way, just like this, and then you also mark a sideline this way and the mark from the middle, you know. So this is a perfect point where you get your bias from. So don't ever get your bias from this angle or from this angle. Get your bias from the angle 45 degrees all through this way. So the measurements of the bias is 2 inches, right? So from the middle point here, you mark it on both ends this way. So from here, you also mark on both ends this way. That's the simplest way to get a perfect bias. And right here, you connect all through this way and then connect all through this way. And this is what you have. Then cut out from here all through points. And then the length of the bias will be 15 inches and above, right, for children, so that you have enough measurements enough bias to pipe the neck all right round. You know, in a standard outfit now, the neckline must be piped or must be taped depending on how you call it. You know, piping gives your outfit that perfect and the more professional finishing. So here is my bias, and I am done with the drafting stage. Thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you guys on the sewing part of this tutorial. See you guys on the next one. Bye bye for now.